Imagine having the audacity to sell the Eiffel Tower, twice. Right in the heart of the Roaring Twenties, there lived a man who was larger than life itself. His name was Victor Lustig, a name that would soon become synonymous with some of the most audacious scams the world had ever seen. Born in the late 19th century in Bohemia, Lustig was not your average child. While others dreamt of becoming doctors and engineers, Lustig found himself drawn to the thrill of a con. From an early age, his silver tongue and charming personality made him a master manipulator. He could convince you that the sky was green if he wanted to. It was this magnetic charisma that set the stage for his future exploits, culminating in scams that would leave even the most skeptical of minds stunned. Victor Lustig was born to be a scam artist, and his audacious plots would soon stun the world. Victor Lustig's first notable scam involved a machine that could print $100 bills. This statement in itself sounds incredible, doesn't it? But that's exactly the kind of audacity that defined Lustig's operations. Now imagine the year is 1920. Lustig is in Paris and he's got this box. It's about the size of a regular suitcase and he calls it the Romanian box. He presents it as a magical device, capable of duplicating any currency placed inside it. But of course, there's a catch. The process, he claimed, took 6 hours to produce a perfect undetectable counterfeit. Lustig was not just a con man, he was a performer. He would demonstrate the machine's capabilities by placing a genuine $100 bill inside, and after the stipulated time, 2 identical bills would come out. Unbeknownst to his marks, the box was pre-loaded with genuine bills. With this convincing demonstration, Lustig would then sell the machine for an exorbitant price, usually around $25,000, a fortune in those times. His victims, blinded by the prospect of limitless wealth, would eagerly pay up, dreaming of the riches they could produce with this magical machine. Of course, after a few successful prints, the machine would only spit out blank paper. By the time the buyers realized they'd been duped, Lustig was long gone, leaving them with a worthless piece of luggage and a significantly lighter wallet. In a world before instant communication and the ability to verify claims at the click of a button, Lustig's audacity and cunning allowed him to exploit the greed of his victims, vanishing before they could catch on to his tricks. But this was just the beginning. Lustig had bigger plans. Plans that would take him across the Atlantic to a land of opportunity where he would weave his most audacious scams yet. But that's a tale for another time. Lustig moved to America, where he found his scams could be even more grand. Now, this was a man who knew how to adapt. He recognized that America, the land of opportunity, was just brimming with potential victims. He wasted no time. One of his most notorious scams involved a counterfeit money machine. Lustig would demonstrate to his unwitting marks how this magical contraption could duplicate any amount of cash. Of course, the machine was a complete sham. But with his silver tongue and charming demeanor, Lustig sold this illusion like a master. His victims would shell out a small fortune, believing they were investing in a machine that would make them rich. But all they got was a box filled with worthless paper. And by the time they realized they'd been had, Lustig was long gone. Despite his audacious scams, Lustig was exceptionally skilled at eluding the authorities. He was a master of disguises, always one step ahead of the law. His exploits grew so infamous that he caught the attention of the FBI, but even they struggled to pin him down. In America, Lustig proved that he was not just a con artist, but a performer. He played his part with such conviction that his victims were swept up in his tales of wealth and opportunity. But it was in Paris that Lustig would pull off his most audacious scam. In Paris, Lustig set his sights on the most iconic structure in the city, the Eiffel Tower. In the heart of the Roaring Twenties, Victor Lustig, a master con artist, devised a plan that would go down as one of the most audacious scams in history. This scheme was as grand as the monument itself, involving the sale of the Eiffel Tower. Yes, you heard that right, the Eiffel Tower. At the time, the Eiffel Tower was not the beloved symbol of Paris it is today. It was in fact considered a nuisance by many Parisians due to its high maintenance costs. Capitalizing on this sentiment, Lustig posed as a government official and invited a small group of wealthy scrap metal dealers for a confidential meeting. He painted a vivid picture of the city's financial woes and told them that the government had decided to sell the Eiffel Tower for scrap. One dealer, André Poisson, was particularly eager to secure the deal. Lustig played on Poisson's insecurities about his status among the Parisian elite, convincing him that the sale of the Eiffel Tower was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to ascend the social ladder. To seal the deal, Lustig even introduced a fake government official who vouched for the legitimacy of the sale. Poisson, convinced and eager, handed over a suitcase filled with the equivalent of over $1 million today. With the money in his possession, Lustig quickly disappeared. By the time Poisson realized he had been duped, Lustig was long gone, leaving no trace behind. Out of embarrassment, Poisson chose not to report the scam, allowing Lustig to walk away scot-free. But here's where the story takes an even wilder turn. Lustig, emboldened by his success, decided to pull off the same scam a second time. He returned to Paris and found another scrap metal dealer to swindle. This time, however, the dealer was suspicious and contacted the police. But Lustig was always one step ahead. He caught wind of the police investigation and fled the country, leaving the second dealer high and dry. Incredibly, Lustig would go on to sell the Eiffel Tower a second time. His audacity and cunning, along with the gullibility and ambition of his victims, made this one of the most notorious scams in history. It's a stark reminder that if a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. Victor Lustig's scams were audacious, imaginative, and shockingly successful, a statement that barely begins to cover the sheer audacity of the man who sold the Eiffel Tower, not once but twice. Lustig's scams were not just about the money, they were about exploiting the very human traits of greed, gullibility, and the eternal hope for a quick fortune. He understood the power of a well-told lie, the allure of a convincing act, and the appeal of a seemingly irresistible deal. You see, Lustig's brilliance lay in his understanding of human nature. He knew that people often see what they want to see. He played on their desire for wealth and status, and their fear of missing out. His scams were not just financial transactions, but carefully crafted performances. He was the puppet master, and his victims, the unwitting marionettes. But what does this tell us about ourselves? It's a stark reminder that we, as humans, are often guided by our emotions, even when our better judgment tells us otherwise. It's a testament to the power of persuasion, the art of deception, and the sometimes blinding allure of the promise of easy riches. Lustig's story is not just a tale of a master scammer, but a mirror that reflects our own vulnerabilities. It's a study in human psychology, a lesson in the art of manipulation, and it's a warning, a cautionary tale that prompts us to question, to dig deeper, and to not take things at face value. So the next time you come across a deal that seems too good to be true, remember Victor Lustig. Remember the man who sold the Eiffel Tower twice, who played on people's greed and gullibility, and who made a fortune out of thin air. Remember to always question too good to be true deals, or you might just end up buying the Eiffel Tower.